Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Damn Parenting, your English speaking parenting podcast from Amsterdam. And you know us by now, hopefully. We're your hosts, Maren and
Eva.
And today we have a special returning guest with us. We have Elizabeth Good from Good Writes and Reads with us, who you already know from episode 22, where we were talking about baby bibliophiles. When we were chatting about this episode after we had recorded it and after it went out, we got amazing feedback about all the books that Elizabeth recommended. And we thought, there is like a craving for reading in our community. And then we thought, what's coming up next? The summer month, which everyone has a little bit more time on their hands, things just starting to slow down. So we thought, why should we not launch a book club with Elizabeth? And we came up with the DamGoode book club, which we will be starting in, Eva, remind me, June, right?
Yeah, the first Monday of June.
Yeah, the first Monday of June. So every first Monday of the month for June, July, and August, we will be discussing 3 different books that we will be reading over the course of these 3 months, and then share our opinions and takeaways of these books with you. And of course, you are more than welcome to read along. We will put a list of the 3 books that we will be reading in the show notes. Of course, we're not going to be reading baby books. But because Elizabeth is not only an award-winning author, but also a librarian in general, she, of course, knows everything relating to parenting books as well. So we thought, Elizabeth, please help us pick the best parenting books you would recommend reading, and let's start an easy conversation. And that's exactly what she did. So, Elizabeth, what books did you pick for us?
Yeah, great. Well, the first book I picked for June is the one that kind of applies directly to us here in this Amsterdam community is The Happiest Kids in the World, How Dutch Parents Help Their Kids and Themselves by Doing Less. And that's by Rena May Acosta and Michelle Hutchinson. And I chose it's not necessarily because it is the best parenting book for this one, but because I thought it would be interesting as expats living in the Netherlands, reading about how Dutch children are raised. And for some of us, your children are Dutch children because you have Dutch partners. For some of us, we're having Dutch children because they're living in the culture here. So I thought it would be a fun one for us to discuss and compare and contrast and see what they thought the Dutch children's lives were like. And if we agree with that, if we see that happening with our own kids. So that will be the first book.
So can I just double check there? They weren't Dutch names.
No, so it's expat. So again, it's coming from this sort of outside perspective, looking in. So they're like us. They were people who raised their kids here, and this is what they noticed from that experience. So that's why I thought it would be fun to kind of compare. Like, are we having the same experiences? And the listeners, for everyone who are expats as well, they might also be like, well, what is this going to be like? And I did think it was really helpful and encouraging when I read this one, kind of like, this sounds like it might be a fun place to raise my kids.
Well, otherwise it's a bit too late for that now, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's happening. It's here. So that'll be the first book. So I think that'll be a fun one to start off on. And then for July, we're going to get a little bit more serious. And the book is The Book You Wish Your Parents Had Read and Your Children Will Be Glad That You Did. Both very long titles. And this is by Philippa Perry. And then this will be the first real kind of like parenting book, like how to do things to help you and your child in this journey that is, parenthood. And this one to me was just interesting because it's a lot of sort of helping with past traumas that we all kind of carry with us, that baggage that we have from our childhoods. And I think a lot of us feel the same about not wanting to pass that on, that everyone has some sort of baggage, whether it's little T trauma or big T trauma. We carry that with us. And I think we all know that we don't want our children to carry that with them. So I think that this book is amazing to really start dealing with that topic, to see how we can stop those things and see how it lives in our body and how we express it and what to do with that. So
lighthearted reading.
Yeah, exactly. Like summer reading. And then the last one for August, again, will be the more kind of specific parenting book. It's smaller. It's a quick read. So it's The Whole Brain Child by Daniel Siegel. And I chose this one because it's kind of the cornerstone of parenting books. Everyone refers back to this. So you have Good Inside refers back to this. I believe The 5 Principles of Parenting refers back to this. He's just kind of...
Everyone loves him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, why not go to the source? Why not go to the person who everyone else is talking about? And it's 12 revolutionary strategies to nurture your child's developing mind. So again, it's not that big. It's 12 things we're going to go over and how they work and why they work. So those are the 3 books we chose for our lovely summer reading book club.
Well, so how this is going to work is, as we said, this is going to come out on the first Monday of every month. We are going to be releasing the episode, so you'll be able to follow along. You can read up, as you now know the sequence of the books. You can read the books as we read them, and then listen to the podcast and hear our takes on each of the episodes. And then let's converse in the Instagram or Spotify or however you want to communicate with us. Equally, what you can do is just not read the book and listen to our episode, and then you'll be able to get some great takeaways from different perspectives, because between the 3 of us, I'm sure we're going to have maybe at least 2 different perspectives, at least. It's not going to just be quite linear on it. So that's going to be your choice, listeners. It's going to be up to yourselves on how you want to do this. I'm super excited about this because I have books sitting here that I've had probably gifted when I was pregnant. And even in COVID, I just didn't have time when everyone had nothing but time and I didn't read them. So this is actually going to push me, motivate me to actually finally get down and actually read these books and take notes. Do you have any tips on taking notes, by the way, on reading books?
Whatever works for you. If you've got a copy that you can annotate, that's always great. I just star the things that seem really special to you, dog ear a page to come back to, whatever works for you. But, don't make it too much. If you're oh my God, every line on this page, that's my one advice. If it's the whole section, then just give yourself a big star at the top and say this was the spot.
Well, hopefully our listeners will dog ear this podcast and know that in a matter of weeks, you'll be able to come back to the first of the DamGoode book club and join us as we are going to delve into the very first one, which, do you want to give it its title again?
Yeah, it's The Happiest Kids in the World, How Dutch Parents Help Their Kids and Themselves by Doing Less. Is this true or is it not?
Well, I mean, as the Dutch have many sayings, and I'm sure they're going to have one saying about, the kids don't need much, just let them be. So,
yeah, right. We're not made of sugar. I don't know.
I know. So yeah, with that, we're going to leave it right here. And Maren, you can take it away.
Yeah, that was very short and sweet. And if you want to continue listening to us, we are coming out every Wednesday with an expert episode on this podcast where we invite experts to the table to talk about things that we notice coming up frequently in the community. And we want to address those questions and concerns with the experts. Otherwise, every Monday, we're coming out with a DAMChats episode, or then, as you heard in this episode, first Monday in June, July, and August, we'll be covering the Dam Book Club. If you want to keep with us, please make sure you subscribe to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. We're also on YouTube. And of course, if you want to get the full scoop of every episode, you can follow us on Instagram. It's Dam Parenting Podcast, where we'll be showcasing the expert that is coming on this week. And of course, also give you a little cheat sheet so you don't have to take the notes while listening to the episode, but we are doing this for you. While you're at it, why don't you give us 5 stars and rate us on those apps that you use to listen to us? That was a long one. So we get seen by other parents and other parents can enjoy the content that we're putting out there. And with that, we will hear you on the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.